one of the reasons we are, well, apart from the fact we haven't seen each other, so FaceTime's a good thing to do, is,
Yeah,
but I reached out to you is because of that a post you put up on Instagram about mental health.
yeah.
And so, could you just explain to people what that was about?
Um, so I've never really thought about how I may look to other people with an artist profile and the fact some people only see me up on that big stage. And to people who know me well, know that I have personal problems, as most people do in life. And I just wanted to put something up so that people um, maybe just felt at ease by knowing that someone else was going through similar problems. And it wasn't a few people after I put it up said, "Oh, it's really good you did that," and I didn't think at once. I wasn't doing it for me, and I didn't think at once that I was. I don't know what the right word is here, but basically, people were kind of making me feel like I had not made myself look weak, but
Hmm.
showed a weak side of myself. And they were saying like, "Wow, that takes a big person to do that." And but for me, that's quite normal. And for me, a way that I've progressed in music and other aspects of life is because I've been honest with myself and um, not been hard on myself, although a lot of people would say I am very hard on myself, but just been honest with myself, and tried to help myself through situations and the understanding of situations.
I mean, there's a funny thing that, so I have this thing, and I've spoken about it in my own stuff. About one of the things is, and I call them Pinterest sunset quotes, right? And
Yeah,
one of them is like, but the thing about cliches in these quotes is there is a foundation of truth, and
mm,
that truth is what gets lost in the quote because it's so oversaid, so overused,
yeah,
etc., etc., etc. Right? And but one of them is show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Do you know what I mean? And it's all buzz talk and stuff like that. But here's an
yeah,
example of it. You and I have been friends for 20 years, something like that.
yeah,
We have often had conversations about where we're not happy with stages of our lives, and then had honest
yeah,
conversations about what we need to do to make it better and
yeah,
what those obstacles are, the hurdles we have to jump over, and where we think our weak points are, and what
yeah,
we need to do about them. Right, and
mm,
you and I have both bounced off each other, right, sharing those thoughts,
yeah,
sharing those ideas, and trying to figure it out because we know there isn't
yeah,
an answer. We know we
yeah,
don't know what all the solutions or even what all the problems are, but what we know
yeah,
is that we're coming up against this mental block and
yeah,
we're uncomfortable with it. So we then have a chat. You and I will talk about it. We'll, and the probably there's one which I'm going to use, which is when I come to see you on your birthday when you were doing that, your one of your first big gigs where you had opened it, you'd sorted out
yeah,
all the tickets, and you were like, "Do you want to come inside?" But it's like, "No, no, let's go for a quiet drink."
yeah,
And I had a chat with you then to be wary of all the people who will pull you down
yeah,
because you're starting to succeed.
yeah.
And I've just recently, I don't know if you saw it on your WhatsApp, I sent you a video of Snoop Dogg talking about the gap.
Yeah, it was just about how, yeah, he had to
And that was that
sort of move
conversation.
people along the journey. Yeah,
Yeah, and that was a conversation I had with you, what, 10 years ago, something like that? Not
yeah,
quite. I can't remember. And it was
it was
about,
about 7 years ago.
yeah,
Yeah,
and it's about the more you start being honest about what you want,
yeah,
the more you start, and those people, need to understand goals are not about Instagram followers, Facebook likes, or anything like that.
No.
But you know, but if that's your thing, well then fine, get in touch. We'll talk about content. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's about understanding. You know, like what do you want your friendships to be like? What do you want your relationships to be like? What do you want your finances to be like? Your health, your fitness. You know, it's. I was just actually watching something before we started this, and these guys were talking about those friends that are just havoc and train wrecks all the time, but you hold on to them because they're old schoolmates.
Yeah.
No, actually, you have to let them fade. You don't have to
Yeah.
fire them and sack people. You don't have to be rude to
I
them.
hate it when people say he's all right when he's not had a drink.
Exactly that. And you get to a certain point in your age, you get to a certain age where you need to understand that that person knows that if they go out and drink, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, once you've done that, I'm going to be generous and say 3 times.
Yeah.
If you do it after that, no, that's all on you. There's nothing to do with the drink. It's all on you.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying don't be friends with those people, but
No.
but you have to let them walk away from you in a circle.
Well, I call it an arm's length friendship.
Yeah, and it's not a disrespect to them. It's just people
Yeah.
prioritize. So one of the biggest things I think is an issue with mental health is people keep prioritizing other people's feelings over their own.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
you and
Can
I.
I just jump in and say, like, on that video I put up, I don't know if you remember, but towards the end of the video, I came with that realness and I said, look, my inbox isn't always open.
Yeah.
Because that's not real. And that's me basically saying, look, I've got my own things and I'm not going to prioritise somebody else's problems over my own, because we're all in these personal battles.
No,